second graders, welcome to math class. You'll notice that I got to bring some stuff from our classroom, and I'm wearing my teacher clothes and my teacher lanyard because it just gets me in the mood for math. So maybe if you're a little bit sleepy this morning or this afternoon, try putting on your school uniform, and it just really helps you get ready for math and get ready for school. So there's a suggestion for you as we get started. This video is going to introduce a new concept to us, or something that's kind of new to a lot of us, and it's called mixed numbers. Now, when you see things like this together, you're probably thinking, oh no, that just looks way too hard to understand. But guess what? You already have the little Lego blocks to get you to understanding what these are. What Lego blocks have you already learned to get to where you are? Well, first, this number that's highlighted in blue or underlined in blue is called a whole number. You say whole number? Whole number, right? You guys know what whole numbers are because you've been counting with whole numbers since you were 2 years old. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. So you already know what whole numbers are. Under the green, you guys see that that's green? Okay, under the green, what are these things called? Fractions. You know about fractions, so you already have the two pieces that we're going to be mixing together to make and understand mixed numbers. Now, we're going to do this example and this instruction in this video, but there's another video where we're going to put it into practice in some of our worksheets that you've been given for the week. Just like in baseball or basketball, we learn our rules first, we understand how to play the game, and then we go to practice. We put it into practice. So this video, we're going to learn and be instructed on how to, or what mixed numbers are and how to understand them. And then in another video, we'll put them into practice in our workbooks. Let's go ahead and get started. So a mixed number is going to be a whole number mixed with a fraction. They're together. So this does not say just one, and this is not just half. This together is 1 and a half. Okay, so kind of like when we have a smoothie and we have a strawberry and banana smoothie, we've mixed them together to make a smoothie. It's mixing a whole number and a fraction together to make a mixed number. So we say it like we have both parts to it. 1 and a half. Everybody say that with me. 1 and a half. Okay? Here we have 3 and 2/3. Say that with me. 3 and 2/3. And then over here on this side of the board, we have 2 and 1/4. 2 and 1/4. The numbers that are underlined in blue are your whole numbers, and the numbers that are or the fractions that are highlighted or underlined in green are fractions. Now, I like to look and kind of think in pictures, and so I'm going to draw you a picture of what these actually are representing. What does that mean? When I have this fraction, what does it look like? We talked about how fractions are kind of like are parts of a whole, so it's kind of like having a pizza, right? And you cut it into this many pieces, the number that's on the bottom, and then you color in, or you ate, or whatever, you ate the number of pieces at the top. We're going to be doing the same thing, but these whole numbers are saying that you have a whole thing, or pizza. So let's think that all of these are mixed numbers dealing with pizzas. We're going to pretend we work in a pizza shop since we aren't going to be able to do pizzeria day because we're not at school. We're going to kind of have a pizza example here on the board, okay? So when I see 1 and a half, this 1 represents one whole pizza. Everybody say one whole, okay? So I've got one whole pizza. This is representing 1, and I'm just going to go ahead and shade it in because this 1 tells me that the whole pizza is taken. It's one whole thing. It's not cut up into fractions. Okay, there's not bits and pieces of it missing. It's just one whole thing. Okay, now this half tells me that there is another pizza, and I'm going to go ahead and do that in green. Okay, this half tells me that there is another pizza. Okay, but it's not all the way colored in because it's a fraction. A fraction is what? Part of a whole. So how many sections do I break it up into? That's the denominator, right? Denominator. Yes? The denominator says there are two pieces or two halves. Okay, kind of uneven. I can fix that for you. Remember, Mrs. Carlin is not your art teacher. I am not an artist, and that's okay. All right, so we've got two pieces that it's broken up into, and then how many pieces, okay, have we eaten or taken or coloring in? One. So if someone said, I would like to have 1.5 of my pizzas covered in pepperoni, this is what that would look like. One whole and then a half. All right, does that make sense? Let's go ahead and do 3 2/3. What does this 3 represent? 3 represents 3 whole things. So we're working with pizzas. All right, let's say that Mr. Jimmy wants 3 2/3 of his pizza covered in pineapple. Do you guys like pineapple on your pizza? I don't. So I would not be eating these pizzas. So here are 3 whole pizzas, and we're coloring them all in because it's all taken, right? They're not broken up into pieces. It's a whole number, so the whole thing is covered in pineapple. This is a whole number. Very good. Now, some of you might have pencil and paper, and you could be doing this with me. That'd be kind of fun. Drawing with me. Then, so we've got our 3 whole pizzas made, so 3 is in the whole number, and then we've got 2/3. Now, this is a fraction. A fraction is part of a whole. So this tells me that there is a whole pizza, but it's broken up. It's in fractions. Okay, there are parts to it. So here's our pizza. How many pieces is it broken into? That's what our denominator tells us. There's a little bit of a glare on this guy, so I'll move that. Oops. So we've got it broken up into 3 pieces. That's what our denominator says to do. And then how many of those 3 pieces are we going to cover in pineapple? 2, right? 2/3. So Mr. Jimmy, is that what we called him? Or Billy, or whoever he was that likes pineapple pizza? He said he wants, here we go. That didn't really help too much with the lighting. He wants 2/3 of this pizza covered in pineapple. So we've got 3 whole pizzas and 2/3 covered in pineapple. Maybe this one is covered in something else, but he's not taken. So we've got 3 2/3. Do you see how we're mixing a whole number and a half? Or a whole number, and a fraction? Okay, we have a whole and then we've got part of a whole. That's why they're mixed, because they're different. A whole number is different than a fraction. Okay? And we're mixing them together to make these mixed numbers or mixed pictures. Okay? Let's do one more example together. We have 2, move this guy up here, 2 1/4. Our whole number is 2. Our fraction is 1/4. So we're going to have 2 wholes, and they're colored in because it's a whole number, right? We know that it's not a fraction. There's no denominator and numerator. It's a whole number. It's just a regular old number that you've known about since you were 2 or 3 or in preschool. Okay, whole numbers. They're colored in. They're 2 wholes. And then we have our fraction, 1/4. So we know that there's going to be another pizza, but he's broken up. How many pieces is he broken up into? What does our denominator say? Okay, what does our denominator say? 4. So we've got 4 pieces. are broken up into. And then how many of them are colored in? Just one. So this picture represents or shows us 2 and 1/4. They're mixed together. Very good, boys and girls. Thank you for watching. We'll go ahead and put this into practice and worksheets in another video. Thank you.